Thanks for joining the show again and sharing some additional information um, regarding the Employee Retention Credit. So you brought this to my attention, and I wanted to have an opportunity to let you speak to the audience about this Employee Retention Credit and how your firm EchoTax can help. And we're going to put a link in the description below so that people can get in contact with you and your firm to take advantage of the service. So please let us know what is the Employee Retention Credit and how is EchoTax helping.
Well, employee retention credit been around for a little while now. you know, the small business. Well, we had the pandemic, right? 2020 March. Everybody knows. 2020 March pandemic. Government shut down. The whole country was shut down, and everybody was sent home, right? So, but everybody, all the business owners, some of them, some were essential business owners, some were non-essentials. The essentials were allowed to be open. The non-essentials had to shut down, right? So the government stepped in and they gave out some programs to help stir the economy. They're like, we're going to be the bridge until you kind of get back to on your feet and get back to your office so you can open up your business and start making money. So they came out with this whole PPP program that me and you spoke about many times. We helped our clients, 2020 and 2021. But they also came up with another program, something called Employee Retention Tax Credits. It was hard to understand. It was hard to digest, and not anybody was really focusing on that at that time because it was either you could have employee retention tax credits from the government or PPP, right? So everybody went with the PPP loans because they were forgiven. You don't have to, if you spend it the way you're supposed to, you get it forgiven. Came December 2020, new law came out, and now the law said, hey, you could do both. You could do ERC and PPP, employee retention tax credits, or get the loan forgiven. So what happens with these employee retention credits? But you can't double dip. You can't use the same wages. You could have both, but you can't double dip and get credits for both. So that's where the planning starts. So we started helping clients in 2020, January 2021, because for 2020, period, quarter two, three, and four. So this is against people's payroll. You have to have employees on W-2, meaning, if you have independent contractors that use your 1099s, they're not eligible for this program, okay? So you have to have people on payroll, employees on payroll, and they were supposed to be on payroll, before this pandemic, right? So if they were on payroll, you're eligible for $5,000 per employee, for 2020. So if you have 10 employees, it's possible you're eligible for $50,000, right? So how it's calculated? Based on wages. So the first 10,000 of wages, you're capped at 50%. So if you have employees that making 40,000 a year, and every quarter they get paid 10,000, that means for one quarter you might be eligible for 5,000 per employee, right? But there's a lot of calculations involved. Okay, in 2021, Congress and they came out with a more aggressive approach, and they said, hey, since we're still in the pandemic, we're going to help business owners retain their employees. We want them to work, so we're going to offer $7,000 of tax credits per employee for 3 quarters, right? So that's 21,000 that you could get for 2021. So, in summary, for 2020 and 2021, you could get about $26,000 of tax credit or a refund, right, from the government. So what we need to do is prepare. You got to take your 941; those are federal payroll tax returns, and you have to do a qualification to see if you qualify based on different rules and laws. You got to do a credit calculation, and then you have to prepare an amended return, and then you have to get the client to sign it and mail it to IRS, right? So and then if let's say you're eligible for 100 grand, right now we've been seeing about 6 months to about 12 months, on average about 9 months of IRS mailing out checks back to our clients. So at first, what was happening is everybody was using PPP. Then a lot of small business owners were actually getting EIDL. And when both those programs shut down, The only small business relief program still available is this employee retention tax credit. Why? Because you can amend these returns for 2020 all the way till April 2024. And for 2021 credits, you can amend your returns all the way till April 2025. So we have at least another year to 2 years of working on this to help clients get their fair share if they got economically hurt during COVID times. Now, there's a lot to this. You know, we as a firm, we're an accounting firm. We actually do the work. You know, there's a lot of consulting firms around the street trying to sell every single person that they're eligible. So what I want to tell your viewers is be careful, because last thing you want to do is get yourself in trouble for fraud, right? Because again, it's the government's giving out this money. If the consulting firm tells you eligible for every single quarter, I'll be, listen, not every industry is eligible for every single quarter. Maybe some industries are eligible for 1 quarter or 2 quarters or 3 quarters. We're all licensed here. We have CPAs and EAs on staff. We're doing the work. We're signing off on the work. Okay. Now, at first, everybody was doing a revenue reduction calculation, right? And a lot of firms don't qualify because not every firm had a 50% decrease in sales from 2020 any quarter in 2020 compared to 19. And a lot of firms don't qualify because they didn't have a 20% decrease in sales from 2021 any quarter compared to 2019. But where they do qualify, where we've been finding where there's opportunity now is, did the government give you, was it a partial shutdown or a full shutdown, right? Were you anomaly effect? Was anything, so you need to go in there, know the company, the industry, how many square feet is the company? How many employees work there, right? Because it could be the same industry. For example, I'll give you an example, right? We did a salon, right? Salon, 2 salons. They're on the same block. One qualified, one didn't qualify. Why? Because again, you gotta put the nominal effect. Government shuts you down temporarily, right? So they said you can't have, if you're a barber shop, you have to have 6 feet away if you want to cut here, right? Well, one shop was 1,000 square feet, one shop was 2,000 square feet, and they had the same amount of barbers there. The one with the 2,000 square feet, they had enough space to space it out, so they had their employees working, so there was no nominal effect. There was no partial shutdown because they were actually operating. They had enough space. Where the other salon, they had to cut staff because they didn't have enough space. They had to space out, and now they have a nominal effect because now they have less employees work. Maybe a portion of the revenue shut down because they can't work. So you need to know your industry. You need to know the situation, and the most important, was there an executive government order? Okay, there has to be an executive government order of a shutdown. We research federal executive orders. We research on the state executive orders, on the county, local, city, right? Because federal tells you you're open, but the city might tell you still closed. That means so it got to be a government shutdown, and you have to have support. Okay. Last month, IRS started auditing these ERC credits because a lot of these consulting firms are very aggressive, and they're letting, if it's too good to be true, it probably is, and they're telling every single business owner they're all eligible. If you have PPP, that means you're eligible. But that's not true.
Right.
You have to look at the circumstance, the facts. You have to do qualification, research. And once we figure all this out, then we got to sit down and see, hey, did they have money? Did they get money in PPP? Did they get money for ERC? So we try to maximize the credit. And by maximizing the credit, we can't use the same wages that we use for PPP because a lot of these clients have PPP. Since we've been around in the PPP market, we know how that law works. Majority of the CPA and accounting firms are now doing this work as well because you need resources and people and knowledge to do this. Now, everybody knows how to do taxes. All accountants know how to do taxes, they do taxes. But this is new. How to apply the laws, that's what we do. We're interpreting IRS's law because we need to be compliant because this is documents, tax returns that we file with the IRS.
Right.
Some are more aggressive than others. We're taking a more conservative approach, right? But we're still getting people money because at the end of the day, we're applying the rules and the laws as a professional judgment. That's what we're looking to do. because at the end of the day, we don't want our clients to get audited and they have to pay the money back with penalties and interest, and maybe could go to jail too if it's a fraud situation, right?
Right.
So you got to be careful because again, you don't want to overstate or apply and know that you don't qualify, but think you're getting free money. So that's what we're doing is helping right now clients since there's time to amend these returns. This is the only program that's still available, and now it's hotter than ever because now everybody's focusing on this. All the firms, all the consulting firms out there are pushing it, and now a lot of these clients are getting it prepared, and then they're going back to their CPA firm, and a lot of CPA firms say, "Hey, I'm not amending this. You're really not eligible for this," So, and I have even a lot of my colleagues, CPA firms that I know are calling me for advice as well. Hey, they're like, "Hey, Tony, I know you're always on the new stuff. Did you ever hear about the CRC stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely. We've been doing it since it started." So a lot of firms are trying to get into it now to help their clients. But I'll tell you one thing, a lot of firms are charging 20, 25% contingency fees on the refund. So if you're getting 100 grand, a lot of these consulting firms are charging 20,000, 25,000 for their commissions. Contingency fees. As an accounting firm, we don't do contingency fees, okay? We're doing value billing, okay? It's per employee. We're charging, how many employees, how many tax returns we have to prepare based on our time, right? So we're doing value building for our customers, and we're trying to do the right thing by our customers because at the end of the day, if you're paying 25% to these consulting firms, and then, you got to pay income taxes on this refund, what's left for you as a business owner?
Right.
You can add that back as income too. So you got to take that into consideration, so we do all the qualifications, we do all, the credit calculations, and then we prepare the returns. It's a whole process. It's a lengthy process. It's complex. Okay. That's why a lot of accounting firms are not doing it because it takes a long time to prepare the work. But since we've been doing it, there's firms that are calling us to outsource work to us to help them as well. But more importantly, we're trying to help our clients first. If you have clients that need help, we'll be more than happy to help your business owner clients as well. Or anybody that needs help, we're because there's a lot of ways to qualify it too. There's a lot of qualifications that we actually look. Even if you're a startup, you started your business in 21 after the pandemic, and you had 1 million sales or less, you automatically qualify. so there's so many.
What's the minimum employees requirement?
Correct. Our website, if you go to echo-tax.com, we have so much research, so much content, brochures, everything about this program. We've done the due diligence because we like to educate our clients so they know the rules and laws before they sign, the documents, So reality is there's opportunity here. There's a lot of money out there still, and we believe that more than 50% of the business owners that are eligible still didn't apply because they're not aware of this laws.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing the information. That's why I wanted to have you talk about it so that we can try to spread the word through my channel, and hopefully this video catches wind and more business owners that have not taken advantage of it can learn from you, and hopefully they'll be reaching out to you. As always, click the link in the description below to get to Tony and his team, and I'm sure they're going to take great care of you. All right. Thank you, Tony.